Hi guys, Anne from Amber Acres. Today we're going to be taking a tour inside the sheep barns and see how things are coming along with the two groups of lambs. We've had a group that was born in March and we have a second group that is just started in the month of May. Today's the last day of the first week of May, and we've got a whole bunch of new lambs. So join us as we walk through the barns and take a look at how things are progressing. Here's inside our milk room. We've got these two beauties. They're probably about 6 weeks of age now, if I had to guess. And they're the only two lambs that are still in the milk room that have not yet been weaned. They're not 21 days or 21 pounds. They need to be both before they're weaned. And these two were born in March. And then we have these teeny tiny little beauties over here. We got the heat lamp on with them still because they're just young, and we don't want them getting a draft at all. So as you can see, we're just using the hog panels, which were the lambing pens, and it's making the area here for the milk babies, and attached, that's where the supply of milk. So we got the nipples, which comes to the supply of milk to the milk machine right here, and they have milk access 24/7 and feed. So these ones are tiny. There were multiple babies that were born, so they've been pulled from their mamas and they're on the milk machine. Do they ever look small? Doesn't take long to forget how tiny they are when they're born. So this group here, the group of 4, have been just born in the month of May. So they're no more than a week old. So back to this group here, these two older ones, we give them a pail of water inside their little area so that they start getting adapted to drinking water. Like from because when they go inside the barn, they'll be able to drink water from the water container. And they have creep, and there's usually hay in here. We haven't yet given them hay. And they're big enough now, so they don't have the heat lamp anymore. So we're moving them over. We'll close them out. It'll be easier to move the ones in the jugs and into the family pen, which is in barn number 3. Now we have a divider right at the top. Tyler will just disconnect, and this way they get all moved over at one time. So this group painted pink are part of week 1 group. That one's got a sore paw. A sore hoof. So these 5 families will just be pushed into the alley and moved over into a small family pen. And they'll stay there to get accustomed to being together prior to being put into the family pen in barn 3, which we'll go take a look at shortly. I was wrong. We got six families coming together. They're all sleeping right now. It's a lot easier to come in and hand feed each one of the pens when we don't have to fight the rest of the animals. So once all the chores on this side are done, we'll let them out. Water, feed, green, straw, and they're released. This is top barn 1. This is where we just put the 6 families. They'll stay here together before they're put into the large family pen with the rest of the animals. So we made a couple of changes with regards to how we feed the creep to the lambs. We don't buy as much. We're using more of our own grains that we've produced here on the farm. And we're also using the coveralls in a different way for the family pens. It's made a big improvement with regards to space. Allowed them to grow faster as well. Back in barn 1, the feeding alley separates the barn. However, at the top, it's not closed off yet. So the ewes can go on both sides of the feeding alley. And on the one side, the south side, along the concrete wall is where we always put the jugs. We just use the one side. And then once the second week comes along, which will be about half of the ones that are left in here along the center that have yet to lamb, they'll end up being the only ones left in this barn. And then this barn will be cut off at the top, and it'll be half for week 2 family as half for week 3 families. And on this side right over here, I think this here beauty's probably gonna lamb today. But we'll give her a little bit of time and we'll check on her again after. Looky here, a new group of lambs, and they already know to go underneath. Nuts! Oh my God, they're so gorgeous, so gorgeous. Well, who do we have here? They are so sweet. God, how tiny they are. This group has already had more twins, triplets, and multiple babies compared to barn 2 that lambed in March. So the lambs are smaller, and most of the, not most, but I think about 20 of them are Rito breed. So they have a different body condition. Hello. And there's more coloring in this group. So this is family pen number 1 for the lambs born. These ones are, well, this is the first week of lambing in the month of May. So they're just a week. They're all painted pink. And they'll have 1/2 of the coverall. This is what we call barn 3. And anyone that was born in the last, well, including today, this will become their family pen, and this is where they'll stay until they're weaned. And this is the north side of barn 3. And these are the beauties that were born the month of March. They have been weaned. They're so beautiful.
And they'll be weighed probably another week.
We'll weigh them in another week. We'll have to see when what the plan is for them. Compared to these ones over here. Hey, little and big. 2 months difference in age. This barn will be weaned at the end of the week. Here's my little Hollister baby. He's so beautiful. All grown up now. Look at him. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Look at the detail on him. Wow. So beautiful. Now we're inside barn 2. These ones here. This first group with the black and white one were the bottle babies, which have been weaned, and they're just in here on their own until they are, this whole barn will be weaned shortly. This group was born the 2nd week of March. Yay! You guys are gonna all be weaned at the same time. So they're on half the barn, half the side of the barn. And as we plan to wean these beauties, we'll run them through the handling system. We'll weigh the ewes and the lambs, and we record their weights. And then this group here on the south side of this coverall is the lambs with their mamas that were born the 3rd week of March. So what we did was, when we created the family pens, we basically split the barns into 3, and they've just stayed like this. They're going to remain together until they're weaned, and then when we wean these 2 groups, this one born the 3rd week of March and the 2nd week of March, when these ones get all weaned, they'll be weaned all together, and they'll go in to a different barn, and the ewes will stay here, and we'll dry the ewes off. It's basically the feeding alley that divides both groups, keeps them separate. These are ewes from barn 2. They've been weaned from their lambs, and they're being dried.
Ligaments in front of her leg, like the stuff that holds it, let go, and she's just, everything's dropped.
So she will probably have to have a vet involvement when lambing?
Possibly. She might need a C-section, otherwise it'll be just trying to get them out.
Poor thing. So far, the month of May, with this group here, the only issue that we've really had is we've had 1 prolapse, and she's doing well, and the other issue is the ewe that she's got that injury and her belly's all wobbled, so we'll have to keep a close eye on her, and if we have to get the vet, we'll get the vet.